Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am so thrilled you're joining me today because honestly, we're going on a pretty fascinating journey. We're going to take a platform that can sometimes feel, well, totally bogged down in technical jargon, and we're going to translate it into pure, actionable business intelligence. If you have ever felt overwhelmed by 1,000-row spreadsheets just straight up crashing your computer, or you're dealing with entirely disconnected databases, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to demystify Power BI together.
Think about your own organization for just a second. Every single day, companies generate absolute mountains of information. But, having data isn't really the same as having answers. So how do you actually turn all that raw, disorganized data into profitable decisions? That's the real-world business problem we're tackling today. And Power BI, well, it's kind of the hero of this story. Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap. First, we'll welcome you to business intelligence. Then we'll explore the Power BI ecosystem. Third, dashboards versus reports. Fourth, connecting your data. And finally, an introduction to DAX formulas.
All right, Section 1, Welcome to Business Intelligence, where we'll define the overarching concept.
So before we even touch a single button in the software, we really need to understand the theory. At its core, business intelligence, or BI, is a data-driven decision support system. Basically, it's a set of technologies and practices that collects, analyzes, and presents your business information. But why does this actually matter to you? Well, because the ultimate goal here isn't just, making pretty charts. It's about driving new revenues, optimizing your internal business processes, and gaining a massive competitive advantage over your rivals. It translates collected data into true strategic insights. Now, to deliver all this intelligence, Power BI heavily relies on something called SaaS. That stands for Software as a Service, which simply means the whole thing is delivered via the cloud. And let me tell you, this is a total game changer. It means that you, as a business user, can publish and share your BI reports without having to knock on the IT department's door every 5 minutes asking for help. It really empowers you to create and share your own insights on the fly.
Interestingly enough, Power BI didn't just magically appear out of thin air. Back in 2010, it was actually designed as Project Crescent by Wes Chaddock George. Then, by 2011, it was tied to the SQL Server codenamed Mount McKinley. Microsoft revealed the very first preview in 2014, and by July 24, 2015, the first official version was released, which was actually heavily rooted in existing Excel add-ins. So as you can see, it has a deeply established foundation in data analysis.
Moving on to Section 2, the Power BI ecosystem, inside the data factory. Okay, I want you to picture this architecture like a high-tech manufacturing plant that's taking in raw materials. This factory operates in 3 distinct phases. Step 1 is data integration. This is where you extract data from all your different sources and pull it into a common staging area. Step 2 is data processing. You can think of this as the cleanup phase. You're scrubbing out missing or redundant values, applying your business rules, and loading that pre-processed data into a warehouse. And finally, Step 3 is data presentation. Your raw material has officially become a polished product, visualized through highly intuitive dashboards and reports, so end users can actually make decisions. So, what exactly are the specific tools sitting on our factory floor? Well, first we have Power Query, which is basically your workhorse for accessing and transforming those public and internal data sources. Then there's Power Pivot. That one handles your data modeling for high-speed, in-memory analytics. And when it's time to actually display things, you use Power View for interactive visualizations, or Power Map to literally bring your data to life with interactive geographical mapping. The whole shebang is designed to work seamlessly together. But looking at all these amazing cloud capabilities brings up a massive question, especially if you're an enterprise user. How do these cloud components safely and securely connect to your company's local on-premises data without, compromising security? The answer is the Power BI Gateway. Think of it as a highly secure gatekeeper, or even like a delivery truck. It directly connects cloud platforms to your on-premises data sources without ever actually transferring or moving your original files to the cloud. You can run this in standard mode, which is perfect for complex scenarios where multiple users need to access various data sources. Or you can use personal mode if just one individual needs that access privilege. Pretty clever, right? All right, Section 3, Dashboards versus Reports, or knowing your final product. So we've talked a lot about the back-end architecture. Now let's flip it and talk about the front-end presentation. People use the terms dashboard and report interchangeably all the time, but actually, scratch that. They are absolutely not the same thing. A dashboard is just a single page, like a canvas, that pulls pinned tiles from multiple datasets to tell a high-level story. But here's the catch. you cannot filter or slice data directly on a dashboard. A report, on the other hand, well, that can be multi-page. It's tied to a single dataset, but it is highly interactive. You can highlight, filter, and slice to your heart's content to discover those really deep insights. Now, while we're looking at these final products, we do have to mention a couple of platform boundaries, just to keep things in perspective. For instance, Power BI accepts a maximum file size of 250 megabytes for imported files. Also, when you're sharing all these amazing dashboards and reports you've built, just be aware that you can only share them with users who have the exact same email domain as you. Just a little logistical thing to keep in mind.
Let's jump into Section 4, connecting your data and fueling the machine.
We know what the final product looks like, so how do we actually fuel this machine? Well, in Power BI Desktop, it all starts just by clicking the Get Data button. And honestly, the sheer versatility of what you can connect to from there is staggering. You can connect to SQL databases in the Azure Cloud Platform. You can pull in simple flat files like Excel. You can even connect directly to online services like Google Analytics, Salesforce, or Facebook. From blank queries to OData feeds, listen, if your company generates data, Power BI can more than likely ingest it. So the really crucial point here is how you choose to connect to those databases. You generally have two main connectivity modes. Import mode allows you to aggressively manipulate and transform the data. It pushes up to 1 gigabyte into the Azure backend and lets you schedule refreshes up to 8 times a day. Direct query, however, is a live connection. The data actually stays in your SQL database, meaning no refresh schedule is needed at all. But your options for manipulating the data inside Power BI are going to be much more limited. It's all about picking the right tool for the job.
And finally, Section 5, Introduction to DAX Formulas, the Math Engine. I know, formulas can seem a little intimidating for beginners, but trust me, this is the essential calculation layer that gives Power BI its true analytical muscle. DAX stands for Data Analysis Expressions. Simply put, it's a formula expression language used for custom calculations. It manipulates both numeric data, like integers and currency, and other types, like strings of text. You evaluate DAX in two main ways, through measures, which operate on aggregate values and don't belong to a specific table, and calculated columns, which evaluate your data row by row to physically extend a table. Let's break down how DAX actually works using 3 fundamental concepts. First up is syntax, which is really just the structural grammar of the formula, like typing total sales equals sum. Second is context, and this one is vital. You have row context, which is looking at the current row, and filter context, which applies filters within your calculation. And third, we have functions. These are your predefined operations, like finding the min value, grabbing a count of items, or using concatenate to join text strings together. And wow, that brings us to the end of our journey today. We've gone all the way from basic theory, through the architecture, straight down into DAX formulas. But I really want to leave you with this final thought. Now that you understand the mechanics of this incredibly powerful tool, the choice is totally yours. Are you going to continue to just present static, raw numbers? Or are you going to leverage Power BI to reveal the profitable stories hidden inside your data? Thank you so much for watching this explainer, and honestly, I cannot wait to see what you build.